Thank you, Janice and Kim and the entire team at Humanitarian USLS for inviting me here. Good afternoon. Before I start, I really want to say that it's a great pleasure to be here today. Just 2 years ago, I was seated in the audience in Bangkok, Thailand, at USLS, listening to inspirational humanitarians speak about their journey. And I consider this an honor to be able to revisit and share my journey since then with you all. There's so much momentum in this room, and as much as I hate to say it, I'm going to say that that's not going to be enough to make a change in the world. If you have a smartphone, please raise your hand. All right, that's what I expected. Almost all of us have smartphones. It is said that the smartphones in our pockets today carry much more technology than the Apollo 11 spacecraft. And mind you, the Apollo 11 spacecraft took humans to the moon. Now, raise your hand again if you track your social impact using your smartphone. Again, that's what I thought. The smartphones in our pockets can do so many things, but for some reason, the volunteerism industry has not done a great job in enabling people like you and me around the world to use technology to create social impact. 2 years ago, fooled by the speech done by Geraldine Cox, and now you know why, at USLS 2017, I embarked on a journey to establish a tech nonprofit called I Volunteer International. Today, it is a registered tech nonprofit in the US and has a gold seal for transparency by GuideStar. Our goal is to create 7 billion volunteers. And I'm serious because we are counting. In 2015, I got the opportunity to study in the United States through a Rotary scholarship program called the Georgia Rotary Student Program. My new hometown was Savannah, Georgia. When I went to Savannah, I was an alien to the city. I didn't know many people, surely didn't know anyone at school, and had no idea what the community was like. So I did what I did best. I found volunteer opportunities to get involved around the community, and after 4 years, I can tell you all about Savannah and the state of Georgia. I know people from all walks of life. I know Savannah's history, and I'm an embedded contributor to the Savannah's growth. I know yesterday a delegate asked a question, how do you connect with communities that were historically undermined? You volunteer in their community in causes that are important to them. How do you connect to people in different communities to understand what they need? You volunteer in their community. Volunteerism is a vehicle of hope that we carry with us. Volunteerism is one of the tools that you and I can use to reach people that don't think like us and that don't look like us at all. When you're a volunteer, political, religious, and economic barriers fall down because volunteerism is how we connect to a common social good. I was born and raised in beautiful and resilient Sri Lanka. Although the concept of volunteerism exists there, we don't really treat it like a sideline activity. Volunteering, taking care of our communities, coming together for events that help others is actually a part of our culture, and I know a lot of people here can resonate to that. But when I went to the United States, I had a hard time finding volunteer opportunities. So I had my wait what moment, as Chris Temple put it yesterday. 7 billion people in the world, but not so much even as a quarter of that identifying themselves as a volunteer. When people come together as volunteers to take action in their own local community, it contributes to the resilience of those communities. When people take action together at home, it contributes to sustainability, understanding, and unity. And these are not just my words. The 2018 State of the World's Volunteerism Report, published by the United Nations volunteers, show this data, and this is true. It enables those communities to find solutions that fit them together. Like Chris Temple mentioned yesterday, the poor found a solution to invest in themselves by creating microfinancing options. So now imagine 7 billion people taking action in their own communities to enable growth, to achieve equality, to attain sustainability, to tackle climate change, and to accomplish the Sustainable Development Goals. Like Felipe mentioned yesterday, internal challenges don't have external solutions. It needs to come from within. But it's not as easy as I say. At iVolunteer International, we conducted research to see why we don't have 7 billion volunteers in the world. That was the first question we had. Why aren't all of us taking action in our communities? Here are the 3 major challenges we found. First, most of us are already fully committed to something. That's not rocket science. We go to school full-time, work full-time, so we don't have the time. A majority of volunteer opportunities come from established organizations, and they require weekly, monthly, recurring commitments. People can't be involved in one organization and attend weekly or recurring meetings because they simply don't have the time. So this leaves a bigger proportion of any society's population out of volunteering. Second, whenever there's a volunteer opportunity, there is some kind of cost associated with it. It could be membership fees you have to pay to the organization, cost of transport, paying for t-shirts. I know many of you are nodding heads, so you understand. Because of this, in each community, a huge population of potential volunteers are left out because they simply can't afford it. The third is the knock on the head. Even if people had the time, and even if they had the money, there isn't a single global platform that connects people to volunteer projects in their local communities in real time. I know this question came up so many times yesterday. How can I help? Where can I help? What can I do to help? These questions come as a result of this third problem. So in order to eradicate these challenges, iVolunteer International wanted to develop a geo-connecting mobile application for the world's volunteers to use. Since 2017, right after USLS, we have been developing our organization and the technology, and I'm happy to say that our launch will actually happen early next year. So far, without the mobile application, and just by working with our partners worldwide, we have mobilized over 4,000 people in their local communities around the world to take action. So here's how it will work. The mobile app will identify the user's live location and show you volunteer projects around you. Pretty simple. You can sign up for projects, and when you attend them, you can confirm your attendance, and it will track your volunteer hours and social impact. The best part is, you, as an individual, can post your own project in your community, and people around you will be connected to your project. We will also have profiles for businesses so that they can keep track of their volunteers, their hours, and their impact in the world, and all that data will allow them to read their social impact to the world. We aren't reinventing the wheel. There are volunteer connectivity platforms in the world already. Volunteer Match in the USA, doit.org in UK, and Good People in Sri Lanka are similar platforms. And when we launch, we will reach out to them as collaborators for enhanced impact. But we aren't just creating a tool. We are cultivating a brand, a culture, an idea. Over the last 2 years, we have reached out around the world, partnered with nonprofits, NGOs, and local communities to mobilize people and enable them to create change. And I'm going to go off script a little bit here. iVolunteer International started as a Facebook page with 1 like 2 years ago. So if you want to create change, I know we want to create change tomorrow. I know we want to change a lot of lives tomorrow. That's just not, at least in my experience, how it works. It starts small. It starts with you, and it starts in your local community. Remember I said there's so much momentum here and in this room, and I said that's not enough? That's because this journey here was not easy at all. I'm going to be very honest. Hundreds of people did not reply back to us when we started. We were left high and dry. High-level organizations that promoted youth action on social media brought us to the table and left us hanging. People didn't believe anything, and hope was crushed. But that's the part of the journey. That's what all the speakers have been speaking about it here today and yesterday. That's what Geraldine spoke about as well, persistent. We persisted. So momentum isn't enough, my dear friends. To take action, young people can't be sitting and listening. We need to be up and fighting with fire in our hearts and passion in our hands. You need to have agility and perseverance, because as hard as it is, you and I need to realize we can't change 1 million lives tomorrow. We need to start with the person sitting right next to you, because by embracing your reach and giving the small amount of commitment, your best effort, is how you and I will create a world we want to see. So when you go back with USLS, with all these friends from around the world, be a volunteer and join the movement of world's volunteers to create change. Thank you.